Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Gandara, and I am a mom of four. I am a registered nurse. I am an author and a wife of 22 years. And I have found little tips and tricks along the way to help me live a less chaotic life. When as much as I can, having four kids and being a wife and having a business and all of that. And I thought it would be great to share it with everybody. Do I know all the answers? No. Am I an expert? Not by any means, but I figured that there's some tricks and tips that I know that maybe you don't. And if you have any tips and tricks, I am all ears. I love learning, and I'm on this personal development journey. I'm a personal development junkie, and that's what brought me to this. And I hope you guys get a little nugget or two and learn a little something yourself. So with that, let me start my screen. Let me see. And you'll know that I am not a technology junkie, so bear with me. All right, almost there. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Thumbs up? Yes. Awesome. All right, so time management hacks. Why do we want time management? What is the purpose of managing our time? Do we want to wake up every day and just kind of wing it and see what the day brings? That's probably not the best way to manage our day, right? So let's see. So we want to reduce stress, right? Because when we don't know what's happening, when we have a thousand things going on, that creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. So what we want is freedom. We want things out of our head so that we know we can just have it on a piece of paper, have it on our phone, whatever way you like to take track of your time, and just see it, know what we have coming up, and then we can adjust to life accordingly. When life throws you some crazy little turns in the middle of your day, you can quickly take a look and see where you can fit things in. And that's what we're going to get into today. So we're going to reduce stress and overwhelm, hopefully. We're going to achieve our goals faster, because once we have things written down, we see them, we can plan for them, things get done. If you say, oh yeah, I'm going to lose weight, that doesn't really tell you anything. If you tell me I'm going to lose weight in 6 months, I'm going to lose this amount of weight, then there's a goal. Yeah, and you still have to be more specific with that, but you have a time frame. So everything with time is very, very important, and it helps you move along and progress. And then the most coveted work-life balance, right? I think we are all looking for that all the time. I think that is one of the most things that I hear in the women's groups that I run, is that they're looking for work-life balance. So let's see if we can create that. So first things first, you have to set priorities. When you walk into the office and you have a desk full of things that you have to do, what is priority number one? Is it answering emails? That can probably wait, right? Is it answering a deadline phone call, something like a Zoom that you have to attend, something at a certain time? That probably takes priority over answering an email that's probably been there all night. So you need to prioritize your day. Start off with 3 tasks. Once the 3 top most important things are done, then move on to the next ones. Create another list. But make sure the things that you cannot leave the office or leave your home without doing that day are at the top of the list, and that is what gets done first. So set a priority list. And make sure that your lists and your tasks align with your long-term goals. Don't make a list just to make a list. If your long-term goal is to leave work at 6 o'clock or at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or noon, whatever time, but you know you have to get these certain things done, make sure it aligns with you leaving. Not like, oh, I can answer emails at home, but I'm going to put it here as a priority task just so, and then you end up getting mixed into the whole work thing and you're there past 6 o'clock, past noon, whatever time it is that you wanted to go. So make sure everything aligns with the goals. If you have a goal to leave at a certain time, make sure you make your goal, your tasks fall in line with that. And then we're going to look into something called the Eisenhower Matrix. This is something that I learned myself putting together this time management seminar. I think I kind of did it on my own without knowing it was a thing. But like I said, I'm a personal development junkie and I'm always learning. And I loved seeing it because I'm a very visual person. I loved seeing it in person and kind of seeing it put together in quadrants. And it made it so much easier for me to understand and digest it. So we're going to go over that next. But the idea is to focus on what matters most and avoid getting caught up in the things that don't move you forward. So with that, this is the Eisenhower Matrix. And this is what it's going to cover. You're going to have 4 quadrants. The first quadrant there to the left falls under the important and urgent section. So that is something that you have to do first. The most important thing, maybe there's a crisis going on at work or at home. There's a crisis going on that needs to be tended to first before you move on with the rest of your day, because that will not allow you to move forward. If there's a deadline with a project, if there's something going on that by 9 a.m. you need to be logged on, and you have this one thing you have to do before, that has to be tended to first. Emails can wait. Phone calls that are on voicemail, those return calls can wait. That is not an urgent and important task. So try to visualize or write down, even every morning, create the 4 quadrants and write down on the top left, quadrant 1, the most urgent, most important things that need to get done, and put those in there. To the right is quadrant number 2, still important, but not urgent. And ideally, this is the quadrant we want to be working off of all the time. We don't want to be in this urgent fight or flight kind of status. We want to have a nice steady day, right? Not the ups and downs, crazy, wait, emergency. Those things happen. But if we have some control over it, you should be working mostly on quadrant 2, which is scheduling things, high value tasks that strategize around your long-term goals with no set deadline. So an example of that could be you want to schedule family bonding time. My husband and I have date nights with our kids. I find that to be very important. Is it urgent? No, it's not urgent. It is important though. So I have it in that quadrant, and I make sure I schedule these ahead of time so they don't get lost in the trenches, right? Another example could be career planning or exercise planning. If you know you want to run a marathon, yesterday actually, this week I decided I was going to run a marathon. I was possessed. I don't know what got into me, but I know what got into me. I was surrounded by people who run, and they totally motivated me. So I decided to run. I'm running a marathon, and I figured, when am I going to sneak this time in? It's important. I already paid for this marathon, and it's important to me to complete things that I say I'm going to complete. Is it urgent? No, but it is very important. So I made sure I went in my calendar and found a spot where it's open. And I said, okay, this is the time that I'm going to run the mileage that I need to run for today, according to my plan. So those are things you can do in quadrant number 2, is planning ahead and scheduling things. Quadrant number 3, which is the bottom left, that is the quadrant where you delegate. That is a tough one because we don't like to delegate, right? We figure nobody could do things better than we can. And I've been guilty of this, and I'm probably still guilty of this a little bit. I'm a work in progress. So I would say that in this quadrant, it's not very important, the tasks, but they are urgent. And what falls under that could be emails. Maybe someone is waiting for a response to close a deal, or, a doctor's appointment that you've been waiting for so long has called you back, and you need to respond and confirm, or, these are things that are not life-threatening, but they are urgent. You need to have it's time sensitive, right? Like, you need to take care of things. Maybe picking up your dry cleaners. All these things can be delegated. Even someone calling your doctor's office and confirming, your husband, your mom, whoever, an older child can call, yes, my mom got your message, she will be there tomorrow. Or your husband picking up the dry cleaning on the way home from work. So these are important things that need to get done, but not, these are urgent things that need to get done, but not important enough where you need to stop what you're doing and tend to the dry cleaning. So I hope that's kind of clear. And then on quadrant 4, it's delete it. And that's very low value tasks, like going through Instagram. How many of you get stuck in this time warp when you go into Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media that you use, and you just get sucked in, and before you know it, it's been 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You know what you could have done with that time? There's so much you could have done with that time that was much more valuable. So this quadrant, the not urgent, not important, it's still there, because if you have accomplished everything else on your task list and you have downtime, then by all means, whatever is not urgent and not important, put it in there. And that's what you tend to at that time. So I hope that this was an easier way to kind of see things in your head, for you to group them, even if you want to draw the 4 quadrants. I know it really helped me visually just see it and be like, oh, okay. So there is like a rhyme and reason to things. Like binge watching Netflix. That's what I meant to say. That is definitely not urgent, not important, but it is something like a form of self-care, right? So we shouldn't get rid of it altogether. If that is what you like, if that is your way of taking care of yourself, just disconnecting and watching some like mindless show so you can just relax, put it in there. That's the quadrant. Once everything else is done, you tend to that. Next, time blocking. This is my absolute favorite, and this is what I live by. We are going to, well, let me show you a quick glimpse of my schedule, my calendar. You won't be able to see details on the screen, but you'll see all the colors. Do you see how jam-packed that looks? And all it is, it's not like I have no downtime. All that is are reminders. So for instance, yesterday I put 6 Mile Run and I put it in my phone and I blocked off that time. That is my time to run. Nothing else can happen during that time. Now, if it starts raining out and something happens and I have to adjust, I will adjust it in my calendar where I could see where I can fit things in. So there's specific times for things. You can batch things together like, okay, from 12 to 1, I'm going to answer emails. I'm going to answer voicemails. That's my time to update people on what's going on in the project and whatever. You put that in your calendar. If you just say, today, I'm going to answer emails, you get distracted by many different things. But if you have it all in front of you, okay, this time to this time, this is my schedule, and I'm going to be answering emails from this time. If you finish earlier, great. Then you have added time that you can fill in for anything else. But you need to block time off for everything, for even just going out for a walk. If you're working and you just need a mental break, you know that after about an hour, you just need some fresh air. Then put in your calendar 1 hour of work. Then write in your calendar, put there, walk around the block, or go to the lake, or, you know, whatever it is, go outside, get some fresh air. Put that in your schedule. That is part of your day. That is a priority. So that is what we're going to show you here. This is kind of what my calendar would look like. This is not my calendar, but so that you see here in the morning in this schedule, morning routine, whatever that is, but it's at 7 to 7:30. That is always in there. It does not change. They read, have breakfast, and have some planning during the 7:30 to 8 o'clock block. Then they block off time for the gym. That's important, because if you say, okay, I got to get to the gym today. Okay, but when? When are you going? You're going to try to fit it into things, but then people ask you to do things. And when people ask you, you can look on your calendar, be like, oh, I can't at that time, because at that time I have to go to the gym. That's the only time during the day that I have for that. So I'll get back to you on this. Or, hey, I have some time at noon. I have 10 minutes at noon. You want to plug in your call at that time? This just makes it so much easier, so much less stressful. And believe me, anything that you have in your head that you want to get out of your head, because there's just so much going on. We're being bombarded by information constantly and things that we need to do and accomplish. If we put these things on the calendar and out of our head, it just opens up our minds to so many different things. The stress immediately decreases. I can go to bed every night, go back on my calendar, be like, wow, I got a lot accomplished. Tomorrow, what does tomorrow look like? Okay, I can mentally prepare and get myself situated and ready for the day tomorrow. Life happens, I know, and throws us some curveballs, and we need to switch things, but I highly recommend, whether it's on paper, like a notebook, or I ideally like the digital version, because you can take it with you everywhere. You don't forget your phone typically anywhere, right? You're usually attached to your phone. So the Google Calendar is great. You can color code things. It's just a great tool. You can use any type of calendar, but that's the one I use, and it's phenomenal. Let's see. Now this one, the Pomodoro technique. This one's interesting because who knows what Pomodoro is? Anybody?
No, I knew the Eisenhower one, but not this one.
Well, this one is named after a tomato. So this came about because a university student right there called Francesco Cirillo, he was struggling with focusing on his studies and decided to take a break and do his work in like short intervals. And he had a tomato-shaped timer on his desk. And he decided, well, I'm going to use this timer to do my work. I'm going to do it in 25 minutes sessions. So he put the timer for 25 minutes. He worked for 25 minutes, and then he would have a break. And he would do that multiple times throughout the day, a 25-minute like focus session, and then he needed a break. And he did that multiple times a day. So he coined it the Pomodoro technique. And now it's widely used, and it helps people focus and become more productive. So the Pomodoro technique, this is what it is: 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break. So I think that's very doable. 5-minute break is for you to go to the bathroom, get a cup of water, maybe do a little stretching, right? Very easy. If you do 4 sessions, it says after 4 sessions, take a longer break. And it enhances and prevents fatigue. So these are very simple things that you can implement today. Set a timer on your phone, anywhere. Set 25 minutes of hyper-focused work with no distractions, and then take a 5-minute break. And right there, you can talk to your kids real quick. Hey, I'm going to go into another round of hyper-focus here. Anybody need anything? No? Okay, great. Or answer a quick text and then back at it. So it helps you become very productive, and you're still getting breaks. You're not burning out. And that's the key. We want to prevent burnout. And that's what it looks like. So you select a single task. You set a timer and you work for 25 minutes. Then you take a 5-minute break and you repeat for 4 rounds. And then you go extending your breaks, because that's already going to be a while, right? Your day starts adding up and you need to have longer breaks. And you need to eat. So that's part of it too. And then eliminate distractions. We all know this, and it's so hard to do. We live by our phones. Everything is on our phones. And then we start getting notifications, right? So ideally, if you can create a workspace that does not involve your phone, that would be ideal situation. But since we do need our phones and we do need to be connected at some point or another, just turn off the volume or turn off the notifications of maybe like WhatsApp. If WhatsApp is dinging in from all your chats, turn off WhatsApp and make sure that is not distracting you from your 25-minute focus session, or from however you want to, use your time. And there are certain apps like Freedom and there's other ones. There's a whole bunch of them that will help block these distractions. So you can look into that if that's something that you think will help you. The 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Don't let these 2-minute things add up, because then it becomes so overwhelming. It really feels like you have 1,000 things to do. But if it just takes 2 minutes, let's just knock it out. An example, yesterday, I was on my way to a networking event, and my husband calls me and says, hey, on such and such date, you have me picking up the kids to take them to the dentist, but this event came up and I won't be able to take them. Can you please reschedule the dentist? And I said, okay. As I'm driving, I called the dentist, rescheduled it right then and there. I could have put that in my calendar, called dentist to reschedule. All the time that it would have taken for me to put that in my calendar, I just knocked it right out. Called her on the phone as I'm driving and scheduled the appointment, and it was done. Now it's out of my head. It's in my phone. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I don't have to think about it, and it's a done deal. So these little 2-minute quick little things that you can do, just get them out of the way. And there's a saying that says success breeds success. Once you accomplish a goal, as little as that was, makes you feel good. Like I'm productive. I got this. I'm managing my time well. And then another thing comes up and you can think like, well, that should be a quick call, or that should be a quick thing that I can tend to, knock it out. That way you're only left with the priority tasks, right? So this is great for emails, quick calls, small tasks. Knock everything out that you can that is short, sweet, that you know the answer to immediately. Get that out of the way quickly. Am I going too fast? Everybody
No.
okay. And then automate and delegate. So use tools, scheduling apps, autoresponders to help you get work done, or even just push things aside that aren't in the urgent quadrant. If you have to answer emails, you can put in your emails, an autoresponder. I will be answering emails from this time to this time. Please be patient, whatever. That way the person's not waiting. They don't know what's going on. You haven't answered their email. They want to know if you received it. These are all ways to mitigate that. And like I said, delegating is something that's tough for some of us, and I'm guilty of that. I feel like I can probably multitask and get 1,000 things done, when in reality, multitasking is not the most efficient way of getting things done. And we'll talk about that now. But only focus on what you can handle. Don't overwhelm yourself. It's not necessary. People are out there willing to help. You just have to ask. And part of my women's program, one of the chapters is just that. It's say it. Just say what you need. People are not mind readers. They don't know what you need if you don't say. And my poor husband has been victim of this. If I'm struggling and I'm doing something, he's like, do you need help with anything? I'm like, yes. Like, can you help me with it? He's like, well, why don't you just ask for help? I would have helped you. And then it like, duh, you can't read my mind. So would it be nice if they could? Yes, but that's not going to happen. So yes, make sure you talk to people, use them. They want to be helpful. They want to feel like they are contributing to a cause, or taking things off your plate. So use your time wisely. If you're able to delegate something, send it off. Will it be done as perfectly as you want it to be? Maybe not. But the end result is that it gets done, right? That's all you want. You want to have it completed. Is it all with the flowers and as beautiful? Maybe not, but it's done. The person got the information they needed. It was received well, done. So delegate as much as you can. And limit multitasking. So multitasking actually reduces productivity by 40%. That was like mind-blowing, because we all think multitasking, you get so much done. You really don't, because you're leaving things in pieces. And then eventually you go back, but that's not being the most productive of your time with your time. So focus on one task at a time, just to get the best results. Knock things out, move it along, go to the next thing. Don't leave everything in half portions, because you really are not getting much done at that point. You're just creating more chaos for yourself, more work later to remember where you left off in each project. And use checklists, to-do lists. I'm all about to-do lists. My calendar is my to-do list. So just go erasing things, knocking things off, and that way you can see the productivity and your day, how it's going. If you're being very effective, if you are falling behind, everything is just very visual and very easy to follow. And like I said, use technology wisely. There's different ways that you can organize yourself. Asana, we've used in our business to schedule projects, and we can assign those projects to certain people, and we have deadlines, and it's such a great tool to have for your business, and maybe even for your home. If you have kids doing chores, you can create an Asana account and show them how it all works. There's different apps like Focus and Forest, time tracking tools. The possibilities are endless, and just don't get caught up in looking for so many different technological apps and things that you get sucked into that time warp that we talked about earlier. And then 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the day, just review your day and reflect on what you've been able to accomplish. Figure out what worked, what didn't work. Maybe the Pomodoro effect was amazing for you. Like, oh my gosh, I got so much done because I had no interruptions for an hour, because I did the 25-minute intervals. That's amazing. Maybe you do the Pomodoro effect for the morning, and in the afternoon, you just stick to the quadrants, the Eisenhower. So use what works for you, figure it out, find your happy space, but adjust. Nothing has to be so concrete, right? And make it dynamic, make it what's workable for you. And always adjust your plan, be flexible. Life is going to be throwing us some crazy curveballs during the day, and we have to be able to, roll with those punches. And then work-life balance. Make sure you schedule balance. And I know that sounds crazy, but you need to schedule that time, just like the 5-minute stretch or the 5-minute walk outside. Schedule time to go outside, 10 minutes. All you need is 10 minutes. In my program, we talk about something called the 10-10-10. And it's 10 minutes of just being. You don't have to be outside. Ideally, it would be great, but stillness, 10 minutes of stillness, then 10 minutes of reading something very positive, and 10 minutes of journaling. And that's it for the rest of the day. You spent 30 minutes out of this in 24 hours of dedicating some time to yourself to help you reset, to help you reflect, to help you just kind of cope with everything that you've been thrown throughout the day. You can do it in the morning, you can do it at night, even in the middle of the day. It's 10-minute intervals. And we all have 10 minutes. I mean, you can go to the bathroom and take 10 minutes, right? So you have those 10 minutes, and just you can throw them in throughout your day. Set boundaries so you're not burning out. Burnout is so huge these days. We are juggling so many different things. Some of us have 2 and 3 jobs. We're trying to be entrepreneurs while managing our day job, and there's a lot going on. We have kids and all the stuff that kids come with. So we get burnt out very, very quickly. Make sure that you take the time in your calendar. You actually put in your calendar your time, me time. That is so critical. You can't, like the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And that is so true. You can't pour all day long and be left on fumes and then hope that, someone's going to pour back into you, because that's not how it works. So prioritize, make sure you get some hobbies in there. If you like to collect stamps, whatever it is. I don't know what people do for hobbies today. They go for a walk, they ride a bike, whatever it is. Or like I said, if it's just to sit down and watch Netflix for a few minutes, make sure you schedule that time. That is your time. You're allowed to have that time. You've been productive all day long. You're entitled to have time to disconnect, breathe, and just be. So make sure you make that a priority. So what's next? I do these little seminars, like I said, because I'm a personal development junkie. And every time I find things that work, and I always think like, oh, maybe somebody will be able to learn from this. And I'm learning all the time. Like I said, there were some things in here that I didn't know about. So I have a program, and I've made reference to it, the 31-day challenge program. And I wrote this book, and it's all about self-care. It's My Turn is what it's called, right? And it's about challenging yourself to get out of your comfort zone, to put yourself as a priority, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So this is pouring back into yourself, and it takes nothing. It takes literally maybe 15 minutes a day at most to complete. It's a program that you do with other women in a challenge group. I'm skipping ahead here, but here we go. What if I told you you can dedicate 1 month, it's 31 days, to leveling up in all areas of your life? In the book, we cover finances, we cover health, we cover relationships, we cover the gamut on all different things that affect us throughout our life. And you don't have to sacrifice yourself, as being a mom, being a wife, an entrepreneur, because it literally takes like 15 minutes a day to complete. Each day of the 31-day challenges, there's 2 challenges. One's a physical challenge to get you moving. And then the other challenge is a more of a mental health, get out of your comfort zone, personal development challenge. And all of this together, the physical challenge and the personal development challenge, can take you 15 minutes. And that's it. And you've completed your challenge for the day. With that comes an accountability partner. It comes support and encouragement from me and from all the other girls in the group. We like to have about 20 to 24 girls in the group. And then you have all different perspectives. You find people saying, oh, you know what worked for me when this happened? The Pomodoro effect was amazing for me. Oh, the Eisenhower worked for me because this is how I did it. Whatever the situation is, whatever the topic is for the day, they all chime in and kind of give their own expertise, right? Because we're all dealing with stuff and we've all seen what works for us. So if you can share that information with other women, it's a win-win for everyone. So we follow 1 day at a time. We don't do more than 1 day, so it's not overwhelming. I have 4 kids. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a wife. So I don't have time to complicate myself. So I made it very easy to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And that's what I want for everyone, to be able to take care of themselves. So just an example of a couple things. Everybody's journey is different. Some people join to get onto like a habit of like a workout routine. It's not a workout book, but because you're in this book and in this challenge, and because you're surrounded by women who have all these different goals, a lot of which are health related, then things start happening. Like I said, I was convinced to do a marathon. That was never in the works for me. I don't love running. I do it, but I don't love it. And here I am going to be running 26.2 miles because the women in the group are so motivating, so inspiring. And they said, heck, if you're going to run it, I'm going to run it. And oh, you're going to run it? Okay, I'm going to do it with you. And actually, I have 2 things going on. I have a 21-mile walk, which actually I see a couple faces here that are going to be doing it with me. So welcome. And that all started because I decided I was going to push myself out of the comfort zone while we were in our class. And I said, you know what? I'm going to walk from my house to the beach, which is 21 miles. And one of them said, oh, I want to do that too. I said, okay, great. And today, we still have till November 9th. I already have 40 women who are doing this walk. It doesn't cost anything, just your blood, sweat, and tears. But 40 women who were motivated enough to hear just me saying, you know what, I've never done this, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to see what happens. And they all felt and resonated with that and said, you know what, I've never done anything like that before. I want to do that. Now I have 40 women who are going to be walking with me on November 9th. So 3 or 4 of them are flying in for this event, which is mind-boggling to me, just so crazy. Like when you have a community of people who you surround yourself with, people who want to level up, other personal development junkies, the possibilities are endless. They really are. So on this journey, one of the girls, who I won't say because she's in this group, had issues with her health. She was struggling so much with her health. And in the challenge group, there's 1 day where you focus on your health, getting lab work done and checking your, assessing like how far you can walk, if you can do any push-ups, things like that. Well, she found that her testosterone was non-existent. I mean, 0. And she has been not sleeping for, I think it was over a year. All the things that come with having no testosterone, which are very difficult symptoms. She found out she had no testosterone and immediately started testosterone therapy. And those problems have become so little. She's now sleeping, I think she had told me 6 hours or so. which she was sleeping 2 for years, for over a year, just 2 hours a night. So imagine having good quality sleep, what that does to your system. And again, this book is not about sleep and it's not about testosterone or anything, but that's just the effect that you can get. Another girl had a so-so relationship with her father. And there's an exercise where you have to reach out to someone and kind of pour your heart out to someone. And she did, and she chose her father. And he hand wrote her a 5-page letter. She called me at 11:30 at night, hysterical, crying, saying, this has changed my life. He has told me everything that I've been wanting to hear ever since I was little. Just this one challenge. So out of the 31, maybe the rest of the 31 meant nothing to her, but that one day just changed her life. She actually framed the letter and has it in her house. So that was huge. Another girl was working on her confidence. She knew she always wanted to work on a kid's book, on a children's book. And when she came to the group, we were talking about goals, and she said, well, you know, my dream is to write a book one day. She's like, I have it all up here. I know exactly how it's going to look. I know what it's going to say. And I said, well, that's the hardest part. Why haven't you done it? Well, I mean, I'm not an author. I've never done anything like that. But with her accountability partner and with me behind her, before the 31 days were over, her book was on Amazon. Imagine what that does to her confidence. Now she's actually thinking about writing a second book. I mean, possibilities are endless when you have people behind you, supporting you, and it can be about anything. So like I said, this book is not a fitness book. It's not about testosterone or any, but you surround yourself with people who have these big dreams and big goals, and the possibilities are endless. So my promise to you, if you decide to join me on this 31-day challenge journey, then, and you don't like it for whatever reason, if you are just find no value in it whatsoever, then I'll refund you. There's no questions asked. We're all on different journeys. Maybe it's not your time. I think there's a saying, right? Like the student, oh, I'm not even gonna try because I will kill it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. It'll appear when you're ready, right? So you have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And the next challenge kicks off October 16th. So you still have some time. The last day to sign up is gonna be October 9th, just so that I have time to mail you out a book. The program is $7 a day, so it's $219. That's a coffee a day at Starbucks, $7 a day. And that's just to pour back into yourself and do something that's important. If you join today, the book, I will be happy to send this to you for free and have a 30-minute one-to-one coaching call with you to get things going. And that's a whole savings of $119. And it's just for you. I don't gain anything out of it except connecting with you, learning from you, because I will learn from you as well. You're not learning just from me. You're learning from the 20 women or so in the group. I'm learning from you. They're learning from you. It's just a very like symbiotic relationship. I love it. The energy is amazing. Many women stay in touch after the 31 days because with their accountability partners and their groups, because they just bond and they've seen each other struggle. We have deep dives where some women open up and become very vulnerable, and we help them. We help the girls that are down in a funk. We help them get up. We have certain calls that we can brainstorm. So it's a family, it's a community. And if this is something that you're looking for, you don't have to look any further. There's a couple girls in here who've done the challenge, and they can tell you it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey. So this is the website, 31dailychallenges.com. You'd select Women's Challenge. And then to get the free book and to get the discount, select I need a book. And then the coupon code is my time, because it's your turn to dedicate to yourself. And I'm excited that you're here. If you just are unsure about anything, if you have any questions about anything, you can schedule 15 minutes with me. That's free. Just call me. And we'll talk about whatever you need to talk about. You can send me an email at coach@31dailychallenges.com. You can scan this and it will take you to the website. And I see some chatter here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, Brittany, yes. Got rid of Netflix and helped not only save time, but money. Yes, absolutely. So Brittany is in the tech world, so she can tell you, like she said, from personal use, she likes Cozy. I'm glad you're promoting these because I don't know all of them. There's so many. And Mercedes, welcome, my friend. Yes, she did the 31-day challenge. She's now part of my sisterhood, so is Brittany. And that's just a maintenance program for people who just can't get enough of personal development. They continue on with me after the program. Like I told you, we build a family. So it's hard to let that go when you connect with people. So thank you, girls, for showing up. And let me see. Brittany was skeptical, but she's glad she did it. It was more about the relationships than anything else. And that's what I'm talking about. you might be able to form relationships with girlfriends. And, you know, if you're down in the dumps and you call a girlfriend, what might she say? Like, oh, wow, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Hey, let's go for a drink. Let's go, forget that. Let's go for coffee. Let's go. No one dives in deep, right? So what we do is different. We have this community where we sit down and we say, you're feeling that thing? Okay, well, why are you feeling that way? What happened? Tell me. And then they go into details. Okay, but have you thought about this? Did you consider this? And have you tried this? And it's just, we really, I mean, they can tell you, it's just an amazing, amazing group of women. And you'd be surprised what you can accomplish when you have this type of power behind you. So thank you, girls. Rosa, thank you. Yep, she was in class 3. She signed up for October. Yes, I'm going to be seeing you again. And she's also in my sisterhood. So I'm super excited to see all these familiar faces. And people take the classes over and over because there's new women each time, new perspectives. And depends where you are mentally in your life, right? Sometimes you're struggling. There's a month that you're just dealing with like a crisis and you're just not really picking up the information well. Yet when you read it the second time with a different set of eyes, you start digesting that information. You're saying, oh, I didn't realize that the first time around. Because it just depends. When you're on a certain mindset, everything looks different. So focus on the solution, not the problem. Absolutely, Courtney. Thank you. So I'm here. Please feel free to reach out to me. Again, the code is MyTime. The website is 31dailychallenges.com. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And I'll be doing seminars on things that I find interesting. If you have any topics that you would like me to cover, shoot it my way. I am looking forward to seeing you all in the future and providing some sort of information that's valuable. So I hope you found some value. Thank you for joining me in the middle of the day. And have a good rest of the week. And if you're in Florida, stay safe. We are currently under a tropical storm and hurricane warning. So weather's not so great, but everyone stay safe. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jessica.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jessica.
Bye.
Bye.